Alrighty, welcome back everyone for another video. We are here with RRA F1 for F1 2012, and we're just about to start quali as practice is coming to an end. Currently, we've got 7 drivers around. We got Yura, Bartos, Chris, Echo, Gokan, Felipe, and Jose, and we're waiting for one or two more to make up the numbers. I'll be around talking shite about this race, and we'll see how it goes. This is round 1, so it's Albert Park, Australia. Hello, both of you in the chat, which I'm not going to be watching too often. So that's practice over. Gokan is still out on a lap. And Yura as well. So we're about to start quali as soon as everyone finishes their laps. Gokan coming through at walking speed. Yura as well. There flies Gokan in the background. And I guess that's the end of the practice session, so we can move on to quali. So Park Ferme is on, which means that as soon as our drivers start their laps, the setup gets logged, and they're on their own with their setup. So only thing you can change is a couple settings like rear wing and fuel, and of course the tire compound, which I'm not going to see who uses what, which is kinda unfortunate. So we're waiting for everyone to be ready. So now hopefully that's clear for everyone. So they will have to use their race setup for the quali, with the only option being fuel, tire compound, and front wing. I was wrong on the rear wing bet. And Lucas arrived. So we just let Lucas know. And that's quali on. And now we're going to go more broadcast mode. And hopefully Ivan can make it as well. So who's out already? We got Chris ready to go. And he's gonna be the first to start the qualifying session. His teammate Capelli is coming out as well. Here comes Jura. So, having a quick look, Chris is about to start his lap. And here he goes. And here come the others. Lucas is coming out of the pits just now. Has a whole tandem of cars. They're probably going to give each other some slipstream. Bartos, Jura, and Capelli all piled up together. As Chris is going towards the end of Sector 1. Capelli went a wee bit wide. Gokan in the pits. Jose coming through to start his timed lap. Lucas is on his out lap at the moment. Jura and Bartos both on the timed lap. We're back with Chris. Went wide, probably lost some time as well. As he's entering the last two corners. Let's see what this is gonna be. He's coming through 125 something, probably 125.1. That's currently pole position. Here comes Bartos. He's 6 seconds up, 6 tenths up, 125.3. And I don't know where Jura is. Here, 125.08. So that's the provisional pole for Jura at the moment. Here comes Felipe. P4 currently 125.4. Capelli. Jose went off the track. 5 seconds down currently. Here we have Lucas. Slipped the back a little bit. So Jura is on another outlap. Right behind him, Bartos coming out. Felipe is also on another outlap. Capelli lets him go, who is on an outlap himself. So it seems that the only one on a time lap currently is Lucas, and is currently 1/10 down on Jura at the end of sector 2. Gonna be a very interesting one. He loses the back a little bit. Very drifty in the back, that Zauber. And is coming through 125, 124.8, so that's the provisional pole. And here comes Jura starting a timed lap again. Kress in the pits. He said he's gonna be away for the majority of quali. Capel is still on an outlap. The fourth one. So he's starting a timed lap about now. He's coming through the final corner. And here we go. Gökhan finally leaving the pits. Lucas coming out again. Wonder if he can make it to 24 fives. So Jura currently 1/10 up on himself and 3/10 up on Lucas at the end of sector 1. And is already... Oh, that was big. Almost ended in a disaster. Let's see how much time he lost there. Going wide again. I think he lost quite a bit of time with the two offs. As he's coming through 23, 24, 25, 23, 4, 9. And that's still only second place behind Lucas. And Felipe is coming through, finishing his lap. Currently on P5 and 3/10 up on his previous time. 124.7, so that's up to second. So might end up becoming a very close qualifying session here. Jose and the pits. Gökhan, wee bit down on Bartos. Let's see what we saw Bartos before. Oh, Bartos took the provisional pole. Oh, that's a 124.5. That's a very good time, actually. So that's Bartos, Felipe, Lucas, Jura, Kress, Capelli, Jose, and Gökhan. Gökhan is just about to finish his timed lap. Oh, that's a 126. And Ivan actually made it. Welcome, welcome. So it seems that this time the city wasn't on fire by the time he made it. We did the same last year. And he was on the way home before the race start. So now he's here and possibly ready to go with still the temp car. So that should be fixed soon. I need to see the sector times. So Lucas currently 3/10 up on himself and actually a wee bit faster than Bartos at the end of sector 2 as he's coming through. Bit of drifting there. We'll see if he lost some time. Currently P3. Let's see what it's gonna be. 24-1. What a time. Unbelievable. Yura currently faster as he's coming through sector 2, nearing the end of it. I'm curious how this is going to be. So he's still up on himself, but 2 tenths down on Lucas in sector 2. I wonder he can find that 2 tenths somewhere. Bit of a slip there. Through the final corner. Let's see where this is going to get him. He lost quite a bit of time in the third sector. He still managed to improve. It is only on P4. Capelli finished. He's on P6. I wonder if Ivan is actually on a... Oh, I can't go back. So I wonder if Ivan is actually on a timed lap. Everyone goes wide there. I might need to get something to write, because I'm going to do some stewarding, or at least save myself some work for after the race. So I'll deal with parts of it now and just write down things like track limit problems. And that's Ivan in the wall. And I think that's the quali over. And Ivan still not last. So we got Lucas, Bartos, Felipe, Jura, Chris, Gökhan, Capelli, Ivan, and Jose. So Lucas made it to the pole. This is gonna be interesting. 3 tenths faster than Bartos and about 5 tenths, almost 6 tenths faster than Lucas. And I'm going to write my usual monologue. And now my message disappeared. Yeah, thanks, Maria. I'm trying my best. Now my message disappeared. Let's try again. and my message just won't show. No idea why. So we're waiting for Bartos to commence the session. And then we can go ahead and I'm not sure what's happening. Am I still in the session even? Well, we're going to check. I'm going to try and rejoin. And it's gonna be ironic if I can't get back anymore. So I might actually make it back. Oh, I did? Right, so. Felipe got offed. I have no idea what's happening. I'm not hosting this session, but that's kicking everyone out at the moment. All right. So that's a game crash for the host. So we wait until he restarts the server. So the server is back on. And now, let me just refresh this. Right, we're back. So our friend just going to set the grid. And this kind of defeats Spark for me because it will keep the setups open. But it is what it is. Not much you can do about that. Shit happens. But we're still ready to go. And that's all that matters. So who's missing? Alrighty, so Jose is missing. Oh, we might lost him. Bro got another Spanish blackout. But we've got James Hammond joining. So that's everyone and one more driver. He somehow made it. So Felipe practicing pit entry. Gokhan as well. Hammond out on track with the Force India. Jose as well. So two drivers actually practicing pit entry and pit stops. They came prepared. Ira just teleported back into the pits, so he didn't finish the lap. All right, we are ready to go. And hopefully the server is going to survive the session change this time. It's dead. So we're almost ready to go. And it's time to do some racing. A very good start by Felipe as they come towards turn one. Very disciplined so far. Capelli went a little bit onto the grass, but nothing else happened. And that's Bartos in the lead. He got the lead after turn one. Lucas still second. Felipe up to third. Gökhan had an amazing start up to P4. Kres down to P5. Jura down to P6. Ivan on P7. His teammate James on P8. Jose and Capelli on P9 and 10. Back battle between the HRT and the Toro Rosso, and Capelli takes the position and then goes halfway up to the grass. Bit of fighting between the Force Indias, and they attacking Jura at the moment for P6. Chris and Gökhan, big battle between the two. Chris up to P4. Gökhan still fighting for it. Felipe had a look at Tarachuk, but that didn't work. Still on P3. Bartos goes a little wide on the exit of the penultimate corner. As they come through, side by side, Lucas and Bartos. Felipe is joining no three wide. They don't do that. Bet of contact. Lucas takes the lead. Bartos back to second. Felipe P3 and he's attacking Bartos now. What a battle for the podium spots. And this actually gives Gökhan a chance to join as the fourth member of this group, and that was a Toro Rosso going off the track quite heavily. Ivan down to P10, no idea what happened to him. Probably nothing good. Jose and Capelli still battling each other. Ivan is coming up somewhere in the distance. Chris overtaking Jura for P6. And that's a massive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way battle. What's going on here? That's just massive. And it's Felipe in the lead. Gökhan second. Absolute chaos. Bartos down to third. Hammond coming up and goes past. Yes, he does. Tarachuk uses this to his advantage and overtakes Bartos up to P4. And now he's trying to take the podium back from James, as Felipe is getting away from the chasing pack with Gökhan right behind him. That was absolutely amazing. What a 5-way battle for the race lead, and Felipe came out of it victorious. Lucas still up on, well, not still, but he managed to overtake James for P3. And Bartos is coming up. And Chris as well. Jura is a little bit behind, 1.5 seconds behind Chris. Jose and Capelli outbroke himself a little, locked up. You could see the smoke there. Ivan already in the pits. No idea what happened to him. I mean, he literally got home minutes before this race started, so they're not expecting him to win. At least he made that. And now Felipe is stepping away, leading this chasing pack of Gökhan, Lucas, James, and Bartos. And Chris is finally joining up as he's getting very close. He's already within half a second to Bartos. Jura is still a wee bit behind. And then we got Jose and Capelli battling away in 8th and 9th positions. It seems that Felipe can keep Gökhan outside of attacking distance, but can't step away for real. So we're still within a second. And now Gökhan had a look. And for some reason, the pit icon is out for Lucas. James has a look but doesn't go for a move. And Bartos and Chris are about to battle it out for P5 and 6. Almost side by side. Very nicely done by Chris. He's up to P5 now. Yura still quite a bit behind. 3 seconds down to Bartos. And James is keeping very close to Lucas, who still has the pit icon out. Probably just pressed the wrong button. And then we have Gökhan and Felipe still just driving away. And James had a look. I thought he's going to go for a move there, but ultimately he didn't. Meanwhile, Chris and Bartos are having a bit of a battle. Bartos goes wide, so Chris stays on P5 with that. And Yura is still about 3 seconds down. Capelli and Jose. This time Capelli is ahead. It seems like they're having fun here. Ivan back to the pits, so I guess that's his race pretty much over. So Felipe is almost a second away from Gökhan. Meanwhile, Lucas and James are still pretty close. Anything could happen between these two. And of course, the other battle here between Chris and Bartos. Toro Rosso versus McLaren, currently with the Toro Rosso in the lead. And both of them went wide. That's going to be a track limit warning for both drivers. A big off by Bartos. Unfortunate. And I unfortunately missed that James took the position from Lucas. Lucas having a look, but doesn't seem to go for a move just yet. That's actually a pretty exciting race for now. Gökhan still pretty close to Felipe. Although Felipe pulled away by more than a second as of now. That's a bit of lag right there, but James is still in position. Lucas very, very close, but doesn't seem to be in a good position to try and make a move. Except now he's having a look, goes on the inside, and then I think he made a bit of contact with the wall, and now he goes through. He's up to P3. James down to P4. Chris, a bit of an off. Yura keeps losing lots of time to Chris and Bartos. At this rate, he'll end up having to battle with Capelli and Jose. Ivan unfortunately left down and a penalty, probably for speeding in the pits. So he's probably just going to be messing around. So Felipe in the lead, 2.5 seconds almost to Gökhan. Gökhan's second, 2.5 seconds ahead of Lucas and James, who are still keeping it up and fighting for the last podium place. And this should give Gökhan and Felipe plenty of chance to get away and increase the gap between themselves. Bartos, what happened to Chris? Chris down to P7 and currently under threat by his teammate Capelli. Must have made quite a bit of a mistake. So that's Bartos up to P5 and currently undisturbed. So we go back, and it seems like Lucas is catching up to Gökhan, as is only 1.4 seconds behind, and I think it was 2.5 at the beginning of the lap, and Gökhan goes out to the pits. So he must be, well, I have no idea what strategy he's on. I think that should be 3 stops maybe, or a very risky 2 stop. I've honestly no idea. Yura up to P5 as he overtook Gökhan while he was in the pits. Bartos on P4, and I think he's going to pit at the end of this lap. Lucas and James still battling. Lucas goes off. Felipe now absolutely undisturbed. I think he's on hard. Although unfortunately I can't see the tire compounds as the color uh, scheme doesn't update on my screen. It's only on the players who use a set. So that's now Lucas and James up to P2 and 3. And it seems neither is going to pit. So the next one, oh, Capelli is going to pit at the end of this lap as well, it seems. And Ivan is going to get himself disqualified probably. Felipe sliding a wee bit. Lucas and James still chasing each other. This is going to be a very interesting part of this race, I believe. And Bartos is coming to the pits. You're up P5, Gökhan on P6, but he's got the fresher tires. Though I have absolutely no idea what compound he's using now. I guess we'll never know. Let's put the name tags back. So Capelli is coming out of the pits, Jose coming in. Felipe pulling some serious tire magic. And James re-overtook Lucas. I think he might have made a mistake. I didn't see because I was looking at the chat. So, and James still not pitting at the end of this lap, it seems. Lucas might, however. That remains to be seen, and that's a bit of a battle between Gökhan and Yura. Gökhan takes the position back with the fresh tires. And Kress is coming up right behind them. Yura is going to pit at the end of this lap. He still goes for the move. Tries to re-overtake Gökhan, but that doesn't work out. Gökhan is defending really well. And Chris will overtake him on the pit entry. And then they will be back to battling each other with Gökhan. No, Yura doesn't come out to the pits. So he might be holding out for a lap or so longer. Felipe still getting bored now, having a considerable amount of lead. 8 seconds ahead of James. And that's a nice little battle for P3 currently, as Gökhan retains the position rather, and both of them now are clear of Yura, who's still trying to come back and attack Chris. But the two ahead have the fresher tires, and Bartos is coming up as well. Lucas down to P7 after his pit stop. Capelli sliding a little bit. Jose, so they have a wee bit of a gap now between themselves. And Felipe coming out to the pits. So we'll see James is coming out as well, so he's not going to take the lead, which means that it's going to be either Chris or Gökhan taking the lead. Back battle between the two drivers. Chris has the inside into the final corner. Well, Felipe retained the lead. James is coming back to an easy second. Chris on P3, Gökhan P4, Jura P5, and he still didn't pit. Bartos P6. So again, we're back with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way battle. James, he's got the freshest tires, though there's still supposed to be a little coat. However, that doesn't stop him from remaining in second. But Chris is looking, I think somebody touched the grass there and slid up. Bartos having a look. Is he going to make a move on Jura? No, he doesn't. Ivan lets everyone go. As he gets lapped. So that's quite a bit of excitement as now Chris and James are battling it out for second, and Chris goes through up to P2. Gökhan coming right behind them. They have a bit of a gap to Bartos and Jura. Jura fell back to sixth, and Lucas is coming up already. Ivan lets him go, no problem. Capelli and Jose not having a good race either. So that's pretty much the finishing position for them unless somebody crashes. So now James might start attacking back to Chris for P2. And here comes Gökhan as well, and Bartos, who I think ended up putting up a pretty good recovery drive after, I think he was down to 7th at some point. And now he's back into this pack of drivers battling for second and third. Felipe managed to stay out of it. And this gives him a perfect chance to step away. And since pit stops are short and the pit lane itself is not very long either, that means that he has a good chance to remain in the lead. So James and Chris built up a bit of a gap to Gökhan, is about a second behind, and Bartos about 1.5 seconds behind Gökhan. Lucas coming up. Jura down to P7, so he got caught by Lucas, who is quickly closing the gap to this pack of drivers here, so we might be having more of that. Well, it's gonna make it a six-way battle if Lucas joins the action, and he might do just that within 2 or 3 laps if he can keep the space up. I'm not sure why Ivan's spending so much time in the pits. Felipe getting bored. Meanwhile, Chris doesn't have the time to get bored because he's under constant threat from James. And Gökhan, I think, finally joined the fray. And Bartos is coming up. They will back each other into Bartos. And Chris goes off to the pits. So he's doing his second stop, which means he's probably on a 3-stop strategy. But he might have the pace to pull it off. And now Gökhan had a look and a bit of a battle with James, but James remains in P2 for now. And his tires are also fresher than Gökhan's, I believe, as Gökhan was the first to make a pit stop. Well, not counting Ivan, of course. Bartos coming up, and Lucas is getting close, though for now is steadily about 3.5 seconds behind Bartos. Felipe still in the lead, 14, almost 15 seconds ahead of James, who is currently putting up a very strong defense against Gökhan. I think that was a bump there, destabilized his car a little bit. So it seems James can get away from Gökhan a little bit. However, Bartos is trying to sketch some slipstream off of Gökhan, who is doing everything in his power to break slipstream, and he outbreaks himself into turn one and loses the position to Bartos. Bartos up to P3, Gökhan down to P4. That was a bit of a mistake, and Lucas is coming up. He's really close now. It's only 2.5, well, only 2 seconds right now. Chris down to P6, Jura on P7 still. Capelli, no idea what he was doing there in the grass. Jose is still on P9. Ivan about to get lapped again. So now James is clear. More than 2 seconds ahead of Bartos. Bartos is more than 2 seconds ahead of Gökhan. And Gökhan goes wide, and this allows Lucas to close the gap entirely, and he goes past Lucas up to P4, and not sure what's happening to Gökhan. He's slowed down quite a bit. Might be having some issues with his car. I don't know when he went wide. Whether he made contact with the wall. I don't think so, because I think that where he did that should be quite farther back. But still, it seems like he might be having some trouble with the car. Let's see on his own board. I don't see any counter steering, which means that he certainly doesn't have a suspension issue. And he will come under threat by Chris. Jura, middle of nowhere, all by himself. And now James, quite far ahead of everyone behind him, almost 3 seconds clear of Bartos. And Bartos is coming out to the pits. So Lucas will be up to P3. But he's still more than 7 seconds down on James. Ivan goes a little wide, and he's going out of the way to let Lucas pass. And Chris will definitely attack Gökhan. And Bartos is coming up behind them as well. And now he's got much fresher tires than the other two drivers in front of him. And I think Chris also has fresher tires than Gökhan. So Gökhan might actually try for the 2-stop, I believe. And I'm not sure if Chris is going to do that. I'm pretty sure that some drivers are on a 3-stop. Philippe is still getting bored all by himself. James getting bored here. He's more than almost 9 seconds clear of Lucas. So that's Philippe, James, and Lucas on the podium positions. Chris up to 40, over to Gökhan. Gökhan on P5, and Bartos is coming up right behind him. Jura in the background, still 10 seconds behind Bartos. Is not having the race of his life today. Ivan drifting a bit. Letting the others go. And I think now that we're nearing 20 laps, the race has settled. People driving in their own rhythm. No big battles going on. Philippe about to lap Jose. So Lucas managed to bring back some time to James. And he might pit soon. Chris on P5, 4, and almost 6 seconds behind Lucas. Bartos 5 seconds behind Chris. Ivan spinning in the background, or at least losing control of the car. And I think that should be the last pit stop for Gökhan, if I counted correctly. Meanwhile, I believe plenty of drivers will... Oh, Lucas spun. And he's out of the race. What happened? DNF, so... Oh, he just spun. I have no idea what happened to him. We need to figure that out. Certainly nothing good. Well, that's one down. After the race, we'll see what happened to Lucas. So I'm going on a mission to find it out. So Wukan over to Kyura, up to P5. Bartos on P4. Kress on P3 now. James coming out to the pits. Felipe is leaving the pits. Jose coming out as well. Chris too far behind. James might actually come back in front of Chris. He definitely will. Yep, he's back to P2, undisturbed. And that should be a relatively undisturbed P3, probably for Bartos, because Chris is going to pit. And I think Bartos already did 2 stops. So I guess that he won't make another stop and is just going to go through the remaining 9 laps. Hira still down to P6. Capelli on P7. And obviously everyone got a free position with Lucas being out of the race. Worst possible spot for Ivan to slip up in front of Jura as he's lapping him. Let's see if James can get closer to Felipe. They pit at the same lap, so they have equal tires. And I think that last time I checked, there was about a 15 seconds gap between them, and it's currently less than, well, it's about 12 seconds. Chris Gokan will take the position, is up to P4. However, Chris has the fresher tires. So there's gonna be something between these two for that position, and Ivan in the wall. Unfortunate. And I think he might retire the car. We'll see. I don't think he was ready for a race. Just coming home from different country, just jumping in straight away. We did that last year as well, around the same time as now. So that's 10 seconds, a bit more than 10 seconds between James and Felipe. So James seems to be a wee bit faster. In fact, about almost 2 seconds a lap faster. So if he can keep it up, he actually might arrive behind Felipe before the end of the race. That could be quite a drive if he can pull that off. Bartos on a steady P3. 5 seconds, 6 seconds clear of Gokan. 3.5 ahead of Chris. I mean, Gokan is 3.5 ahead of Chris. You could see him in the background. Jose, he's labbed. Jura on P6. Miles behind Chris, and Miles ahead of Capelli, who is coming out of the pits just now. All right. So Lucas had to leave. That's why he didn't finish. That's too bad. He was on for a good result. Just having a pretty good race. So Felipe is keeping up the 10 seconds. So I don't think that 6 laps would be enough for James to catch up. So we might not see anything going on there. I think I think Gokan still has a chance to catch Bartos, and Chris has a chance to catch Gokan in turn. So this could be interesting for the final podium spot. .5 seconds ahead of James at the moment. James is definitely faster, I would say, but is he fast enough to close that gap? That's a lot of gap between the two. That remains to be seen. At this point, I personally don't believe that that's going to happen, though it would be nice, and we can still dream of an exciting finish. Gokan has to do another pit stop. I thought he's going to go through with 2 stop, but no, he doesn't, and this allows Chris to pull a massive gap, more than 11 seconds. Jose lets Gokan go. And this means that, oh, Bartos might pit as well. This could certainly spice things up. Though currently Chris is only 5 seconds behind Bartos. So Chris could potentially take P3 if the pit icon actually means that he's going to pit at the end of this lap. And Gokan has super fresh tires now, which means he should have a great pace till the end of this race. And Ivan on the curb, or was that anti-cut? Felipe, 8 seconds between him and James. I don't think that James will catch him unless he makes a mistake. Though James is definitely crazy fast. He's got about 3.5 laps. And that's Gokan and Bartos battling. And Bartos is stuck on the anti-cut. There's no way off of that. That's gonna be the end of his race, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, that's why that thing is there. Stop you from going too wide. I don't think he's gonna be able to climb off of that. Yeah, that's the car is that car is sitting up there. So Chris, still 7 seconds between James and Felipe. Chris on a steady P3. Gokan 11 seconds behind is not going to. And yeah, Bartos retired. Unfortunate. Ivan and the Vol again. And the Vol again. 6.5 seconds between James and Felipe. I don't think he's going to be able to pull back 2 seconds a lap till the end of the race. Well, more than 2 seconds till the end of the race. However, I do believe that Chris will go through without another pit stop. I don't think I can see. I can see the condition of his tires. but this might be a podium finish for him. Unless something happens. So that's 2 out of the race. 5.5 seconds between James and Felipe. That could be potentially a closer kind of finish. Not close enough though. Gökhan on P4. Good result, I would say. Euro up to P5 now that Bartos is out of the race. Within 5 seconds. Now I wonder if... Oh, they're about to lap Capelli. So I wonder if he can pull this off. That's 1 lap to go. I don't think that is gonna be much closer by the end of the race. And now everyone is a fairly steady position without any threat to lose them. So the field is fairly spread out now, and we're here with Felipe about 4.5 seconds ahead of James. So James did an absolutely amazing final stint. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to catch Felipe. He made good use of the battle behind him and stepped away just in time, just far enough to remain in the lead. But it's been a fairly exciting race, to be honest. Absolute nothing to complain about. Bunch of 5-way battles, and here comes Felipe, and he's the race winner of round 1. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. James comes through second. Absolutely amazing final stint he did there. Very well driven. He pulled back from a 15 seconds gap in his last stint, so absolutely perfect for him. And here comes Chris, completing the podium, P3. Very good driving. And here comes Gökhan, starting from P6 up to P4. At some point he had chance for a podium. Jura on P5. Ivan is here as well. So Jura coming through P5. Ivan, couple laps down. Jose on P7. And Capelli on P6. He had to do an entire lap. And this is it. So Felipe wins the race. James second. Chris third. Gökhan fourth. Jura fifth. Capelli sixth. Jose seventh. Bartos out. Ivan behind him, and Lucas also out. So this was the 2012 Austrian Grand Prix, brought to you by RRA Racing Division, and I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next round.